Hey. Happy noonday, goddesses. I'm so glad to be with you here today and to be here at the end of uh, our second week in January. I hope everyone is experiencing this new year in a positive and helpful and rewarding way. And so it makes perfect sense to talk today about the idea of ending cycles with grace. I talked before about 2025 being a 9 year, the end of a cycle, and 2026 as being the beginning of a new cycle. And not everybody ended 2025 on a great note. I know I did not. When we end the cycle, a lot of times we want some kind of explanation or understanding of why that cycle was what it was. Okay. We want uh, closure. And it's funny, growing up, we never had closure. We just had things end. But I think we have advanced, psychologically and spiritually to the point where we want to have some kind of explanation, some kind of wrap up to the thing that happened before we move to the next thing. And that is not always possible, and it is not always forthcoming. And sometimes you just have to give yourself and the situation some grace so that you can move forward into the next thing, no longer needing to carry the energy of the old cycle forward and being able to dissolve patterns that were not helpful to you and stop participating in old ways of doing things or thinking about things so that you can move on in the present. And graceful endings do not always announce themselves loudly. There's no voiceover that comes up and tells you what the meaning of a particular situation was or why a cycle ended and why you need to move on. Okay. Most of the time, the ending of a cycle is your choice not to carry forward something that no longer resonates with you and something that you're ready to finally release, let it go, and move on. And so today we honor the power of quiet contemplation, where we don't have to tell the whole world what we're thinking or what we're doing, that we can just settle into our own intuition, our own sense of knowing about ourselves and our situation. And we can ask ourselves and our guides and our guardians, what was the meaning of what just happened in a way that can really suit us and help us end the cycle with grace, not necessarily with closure, not necessarily with explanation, but just a way to put to rest what was and what no longer serves us and what we don't want to carry into our present. Okay. So let's take a deep breath together. Let's take one more breath together and really release powerfully any tension, any energy, any just feelings in general that no longer belong with us. And let's do that powerfully. Inhale and release powerfully. It's funny because most of the time that you release powerfully, you're also going to make some kind of sound or noise that helps you rid yourself of what you're trying to release. So, in our closing blessing, may your endings be peaceful. May you release without guilt, shame, or other harsh emotions. And may grace accompany every goodbye that you do not need to explain. And I thank you for joining me today. This is Dee Savoie, the Goddess Whisperer, hoping to whisper to the goddess inside you to help you create the life you dream of, desire, and most importantly, deserve. You deserve all good things to come your way. So until next week, until Monday, I thank you for joining me. And I'll see you next week. Bye bye.